Some a little bit of etiquette stuff. Turn your clicker off when you're reeling up to check your baits. Because as soon as somebody hears that, you got 20 guys flinching like, he's got one! You know, so that makes everybody mad. It makes everybody really jumpy. When you're in close quarters, what's cool about the ships is it's social. We can talk and laugh. We don't have to be quiet. These fish are down at the bottom, anywhere from 20 to 30 feet. You have your lights on. Usually we have our lights off just because we don't want to have lights shine in our face. But we're all hanging out. It's all real close. You're joking and all that stuff. But say you hook a fish. As soon as he hooks up, I'm reeling my line up. Because you don't want that fish. And if you're within 30 feet of somebody hooking that fish, he's going to, the fish is going to do this, and you don't want him wrapped up. The last thing that dude wants is you to mess up his fish. So I immediately got reeled up. But as soon as he lands it, drop your eel. Because Lee has hooked more fish, taken a picture of me, and hooked one of them. And as soon as his line goes up, he's dropping my camera and goes away. Take my picture first. And he's gone. Man, I gotta follow him, grab my camera, and take pictures of him. Yeah, so definitely when you're in close quarters, reel up. But as soon as he lands it, put it down. They're around. And a lot of times they'll sweep through and everybody will catch one. Everybody will hook up. And sometimes, I got lucky last year. Last year was a bad year. The temperatures went up and down. The waters dropped, and the temperatures dropped and came back up again. It only leveled out once, and that's when we had a good time. We leveled out at 46 degrees and we had a real good day. 2 years ago, we had good days like that once a week. It was only 3 times a week. Once a week, everybody was hooking up. Some of us were hooking up with 4 of them. It was really good. This year's looking more like that year. The temperatures are steadily dropping. They're not doing those crazy cold fronts that were coming through last year. So this year's looking pretty good. I've got really good confidence of it being another year like 2007, where I caught 25 over 40 inches. Last year I only caught 12. So it was definitely a hard year. And one of those caught 4 in a row, and everybody was mad at me. Everybody was mad because I'm going to roll up, drop it, zip, zip, woo! And the first one was, oh, yay! You take pictures, and I go back and catch another one, going, oh, you're going to have to paddle back to get your picture now, so okay. Yeah, but sometimes it can get that good out there. It really can. And it's awesome. It's real easy, right there. You don't have to go far. It's protected waters. It's the best place in the world to catch a trophy striper out of a kayak. Any questions?
When's your first trip planned?
Got a report today, they are at the high rise. Not the giants, but fish up to 40 inches. So it's starting. And it's even a little warm for it. I'm still getting reports from Solomon's Island and Maryland that they're starting to come down. And those are the big ones up there. They're coming down, and Jersey has one. So these are the first scouts that have hit right now. You could probably go out there and catch one tonight if you wanted to go out there. But it's just starting up. With the temperatures, I would expect to be probably next week after next, that are really starting to go off. The warmest I've ever caught was 52 degrees. And it's still 56 over there right now.
Is that water temperature? Or
yeah, water temperature. Yeah, we're not talking
where the fish are, in the water.
Kevin, you said that's a fiberglass rod?
Yeah. I've broken too many rods where, I'm not casting that one, that's just a drop rod. I'm not breaking a solid fiberglass rod. The Lee broke one on a fish last year because he missed 2 in a row. So the next one he really set the hook and broke it on it. He still landed it. And it was only a 38 incher and he was mad because it was a 38 incher. So.
What about when you want to keep fish?
When you want to keep fish, the best idea since you're so close is to come in and put it in your cooler. It's real easy, especially if you get one that's trophy size. Now, or 50-pound trophy size. Now we've measured them out. If you ever tape measure, a 50-pounder usually Zach's was 50.9, so it was right at 50 pounds. It was 49 inches long and had a 30-inch girth to it. So that's what if you got one that size and you're releasing them, if you want to really bring in a 50-pounder, that's where you got to start to get a 50-pounder. I thought mine last year was a 50-pounder. It was 51 inches and it had a 32 inch in the boat, but then once I got it on land, it was 51 and 29. So it's that girth that is really the key. It's got to be 30-inch girth and over 49 inches, up to 50 inches and over to be a 50-pound fish. But Virginia citations 44-inch release and 40-pound kill. Now 40 pounds is usually 45, 46-inch fish. You know, don't bring it, if you're looking for a kill citation, don't bring in a 44-incher and that's not going to weigh. You know, usually, typically, that's not going to weigh. If you want to get your paperwork, go ahead and release that one, and then go ahead and go for the kill later on, just to secure your paperwork, because those are a little bit easier. And you know, the fish are different from 44 to 45 inches. They're almost different animals. You know, the 44 inches have a little bit smaller, their head's a little bit smaller. Once you get 45 inches, they're really, really big. You know, and with this rod, I can bring up a 44-incher within. I can see him within a minute. The first minute, I can pretty much winch him up. He comes up like a speck. You know, just kind of shaking, and then he goes down. But when he gets to 45 and up, I don't see him for the first minute. I mean, it's a real fight. Now all those links are on my links page. If you guys want to look at that stuff, kind of research it. The Kip the Peak the buoy report is on there too, and the real-time buoy report's on there, and all that stuff. So that's all the forecast stuff and all that. It's all on my links page. It's all right there. Put it up there for everybody to research it. Anything else?
So you basically try to fish either side of the last bit of flood to high slack water in the beginning of ebb.
Yeah, anywhere between that,
or vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter what tide it is.
Yeah.
Just around the slack seems to be the best. We caught them all over at different times of day, but if you only have a window to get out there, try to make it during that time. That's the best time to do it, and especially at night. Last year, a lot of guys left at dark, and that's when it got good. You know, if you don't catch them, don't get discouraged if you're not catching them during the daytime. And when it gets dark, if you got a tide change at night, stay for that. You know, at least try to stay for that first night. Yeah, because once they're biting, they're biting. You know, they come through and everybody hooks up. It's pretty fun.
For school fish.
Yeah.
Where there's one, there's two.
3, 4, 5, and 6, and you get tired of catching them after that. 4 fish and you're tired.
I can see that.
Thumb's all worn out. No, I use a boga grip to release. You know, when I'm releasing them, I'll throw a boga grip on and put them in the water. It's a little bit easier to handle them and get them with their mouth open, and you know. And you want to release, you want to revive them. If you're releasing them, you don't want to just throw them in the water like boaters do. You know, boaters just toss them in the water. That's not the best thing. It's you just landed the fish, you just fought them. You know, it's kind of good to have that little time with that fish, and you get to look at him in the water and feel him out, and then let him kick off by himself. And the water's cold, and the air's cold, and they revive pretty well. You know, the one thing about reviving fish, especially in the summertime, you get 75-degree water, bring a fish out in the 80-degree water. That's what hurts them more than the fight. It's that temperature change, going out of the cold water into the hot and back into the cold again. But out there it's pretty even, so they revive pretty well, as long as you fight them fast and hard.
Takes me forever to revive from out there.
Yeah, for us it's a different story.
Wait till I get back here till I feel my toes.
Yeah. And it's cold. You guys all know about the winter gear. You guys, everybody knows about it. We'll have all this information on my website. I'll repost it on my winter weekly report like I did last year, and it kind of shows the clothing. You want no cotton. You don't ever want to go outside of cotton. It's all wicking layer, the base layer, and then a fleece layer, and then you layer up on top of that. But you don't want to wear cotton at all out there. Because cotton just gets wet and gets cold, and that's it.
Are you wearing dry suit?
Dry suits are the best thing if you can afford it. Absolutely.
You can't?
Yeah, I wear waders and a jacket over top. You definitely want to wear a rain jacket will suffice. You don't have to get the super duper dry tops with the turtleneck, tight necks. A rain jacket will be fine. Because these fish are going to definitely splash when you get up to the top. When you land, they soak you. Big tail is just covered. So you definitely want a rain jacket because you catch a couple of them, you're soaked.
I'm not in a position yet to do a whole dry suit.
Yeah.
That's more money than I've got right now.
Yeah, and it is expensive with the right gear, the Under Armour stuff, and the fleece layer on top of that, and then the waders and the jacket. It's a couple $100 you're spending just on clothing. Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, you can find cheaper stuff. I think Bass Pro has some stuff that's like $20.